Hi everybody, welcome to chapter 7 of class 9 CBSE NCERT book. This is a very important chapter. It is also a very lengthy chapter. It is also a very complicated chapter. So I have done this in 4 parts simply so that I can explain each part properly. But it is possible that it is a bit difficult for you. If that is the case, please watch this video as many times as you want. And if you don't understand anything, just email us, ask us what this is. Okay, we will try to explain it. This is a bit tough because here we are going to be talking about classification for the first time, and we are going to be talking about the diversity of plants and animals and other organisms that you find in nature. So it is, I think this is the first time you're going to be talking about classification and diversity in such a way. So this is slightly difficult, slightly complicated. I will try to explain to you as much as is possible for me, and I have put a lot of pictures here so that you understand all these things. Okay, so we'll get to the first part. So, firstly, we are going to be talking about the meaning of the word diversity. The name of the chapter is Diversity in Living Organisms. But what does diversity mean? Diversity means variety or the presence of different things. There's a variety of living organisms. There's not just one kind of living organism. There are so many. There is a different, बहुत टाइप के organisms होते हैं. So बहुत अलग अलग टाइप के organisms होते हैं. That is a variety. That is diversity in living organisms. So each organism is different from the other to a certain extent, right? सब even human beings, यानी अगर आप अपनी फैमिली में भी देखो, your closest relatives में भी there is some difference. Don't, यानी बाकी तो छोड़ ही दो, but even if you look at just one organism, one human being from the compare one human being to the other human being, then there's a vast difference, right? But if you go further ahead, like for example, if you look at you and yourself and your friend, like, so are you the same height, or what about your nose, your hands, are they different, or do they look exactly the same? I mean, there are of course differences. Maybe you are shorter, maybe you have curly hair, maybe you have different color, eye color, or different hair color, or there could be a lot of differences. But as compared to, like, a monkey, if you compare yourself to a monkey and you compare yourself to your friend, you are still more similar to your friend than you are to a monkey. And if you compare yourself and a monkey to a cow, you are closer to a monkey than to a cow. है ना? Monkey कैसी चीजें करते हैं, you are closer than the cow. So this is what is meant by diversity, because there are so many different animals and they vary by different degrees from to one another, right? Even different breeds of cows and dogs look different from each other, right? So एक dog, you have a golden retriever, or you have a German shepherd, or you have a Pomeranian. They're all different, they look different from each other, right? So there's just one, it's just a dog, but they're just different dogs and they all look different from each other. So that is diversity. And what is important is, when you look at this from a scientific point of view, you realize that there are some characteristics that are important to focus on for differences and similarities. यानी जैसे आई कलर हुआ, आपके और आपके किसी फ्रेंड में आई कलर का डिफरेंस है, आप एक दूसरे को अलग उस नजरिए से नहीं देखते हैं कि आई कलर डिफरेंट है इसलिए. सो इट इज नॉट अ वेरी important characteristic, for example. But there are certain characteristics जो evolutionary point of view से important होते हैं, या फिर किसी और point of view से important होते हैं, आप वो देखते हैं. And those certain characteristics are focused upon to look for differences and similarities. For example, डाइवर्सिटी देखो, यू हैव अ माइक्रोस्कोपिक बैक्टीरियम. बैक्टीरियम बहुत छोटा होता है, आपने पहले भी चैप्टर्स में देखा हुआ है, यूनिसेल्युलर होते हैं. देन यू हैव ब्लू व्हेल्स, और यू हैव द रेडवुड ट्रीज ऑफ कैलिफोर्निया, राइट? सेक्विया सेम्परविरेंस करके एक पेड़ होता है, बहुत बड़ा होता है, इट्स वेरी वेरी टॉल. It's a microscopic bacteria. You can't even see them with your naked eye. You need to use a microscope. Then you have blue whales. Then you have redwood trees. They're both big animals, but they're very different from each other, right? Blue whale and redwood trees are very big. but they're very different from each other. So there's a diversity in size, and there's a diversity in age. Like pine trees, they live for tens of thousands of years. There is one pine tree that has been giving its own offspring by clonal propagation. I don't know if you know about that. But by clonal propagation, it has been existing one single organism for the past 10,000 or so years. And that is so amazing. And if you compare it to something like a mosquito, which lives only for a few days, so this is also a characteristic, right? कि ये size का characteristic है, then age का characteristic है. These are different characteristics. Then you have colorless worms or so, कोई color नहीं होता. Or you have then you have very brightly colored flowers, butterflies, birds, so that is also a characteristic. But there's so many variations, and they are all grouped together based on certain similarities. But you have to understand that not all of these characteristics are important to for differences. अगर आप सिर्फ size में देखोगे तो you will also say कि अरे बड़ा size है. If you will just group everything that is of a certain size, you will say that the blue whale and the redwood trees can be clubbed together. But that is not true, because blue whale and redwood trees are very different. For example, this is an animal and this is a plant. Simple difference, right? So you cannot or for age, for example, you cannot say कि anything that lasts more than 5,000 years we are going to group together. That will be very small. Or anything that lasts only for 2 days we are going to group together. That will also be that will be a very varied kind of a group. So you cannot group all of them like this. You have to understand that there are certain characteristics that are important. So the most first, these are divided on the most fundamental differences. What is fundamental? Basic, absolutely basic. We have talked about the word fundamental before. So एकदम fundamental difference देखते हैं उसमें. If you look at a plant and a dog, for example, if you have a dog at home, or if you have a stray dog, you have some plants at home. Are they similar? No. But you cannot say that they are the same, because you cannot group them together saying that they are the same size कि दोनों चलो एक एक मीटर के हैं, that is why they are going to be grouped together. That doesn't happen. So that is not a fundamental difference. When division is done, when you have to talk about organisms, and then you have to say that you have to group them together, कि these are similar but these are different. So you have to talk about fundamental differences, and then you can go down to less important characteristics, right? We will talk about the word characteristics ahead. So what should be the basis of classification? Okay, so classification of animals, of organisms, has been done for a very long time, and this started right from people like Aristotle. Aristotle divided based on whether animals lived on air, land, or water. If you think about it, you'll be like, हाँ, it's possible, हाँ, ये तो कर सकते हैं. But think about it. If you look at only land animals, or if you look at only water animals, for example, aquatic animals, you look at whales, you have octopuses, coral, starfish, they are very, very different from each other. Do they look in any way similar? This is a blue whale. This is an octopus. This is a starfish. This is a coral, right? A coral reef, corals. Do they look anyway similar? Coral reefs don't move here and there. These have 8 arms. This is a well, you'll learn further what this is. There are so many differences, so many varied differences. Can you say that they are going to be the same? No. So you cannot group all habitat wise, you cannot group them together. So you cannot say that or everything that flies should be together. So you can have anything from a mosquito to a vulture, or you can have bats, and they're all different. Or you cannot say that anything that lives on land is going to be grouped together. You can have human beings, dogs, tigers, snakes. They're all different, right? So you have to have you have to have a fundamental difference between them. That will be the first point of division. So what are characteristics? I keep talking about basic fundamental differences and characteristics. What are characteristics? They are a particular function or feature, right? They could be details of appearance, of behavior, of form, or of function, right? दिखने में, behave करने में, structure में या function में जो details होते हैं उनको characteristics कहते हैं. वो particular होते हैं. For example, a simple fact that we can walk and we can run, but trees can't. Trees stand where they are. right? We can move from one place to the other. That is a characteristic. So the broadest classification जो होता है ना, those are absolutely basic differences. So the first order of classification that we take is the broadest classification. That is the most basic difference. Hmm? यानी we will see this ahead what I mean by that, and they're independent of any other characteristics. यानी it doesn't matter. For example, you will, in a broad classification, you will club humans and dogs in the same classification, right? You will see this ahead, so you will know what I mean, because there are certain type, they're animals, right? Both are animals, humans and dogs. But you will not, in that you will not say that this human is shorter, so we'll keep him in a different division or something. No, that doesn't happen. So these are absolutely basic differences, and other characteristics in that, in this classification, other characteristics are not taken into consideration, right? So it is only the absolutely basic differences, the first, right? And then you have the next difference, which is based on the previous one. So what happens is, if you say ki ha isme this is a group of animals like this, so you say ki ha chalo okay, you have a group of animals like this, okay? You say that we have to, a group of organisms, you have to differentiate. What will you say? We'll say कि चलो ये पहले हम देखते हैं नंबर के हिसाब से, ठीक है? So you will say there is one, there's two, there's three, and there's four, right? You'll differentiate them. Then you can differentiate them based on color also. You can also say that uh, one of this is these are all yellow, these are all, this is red, this is green, this is blue. You can differentiate on either, okay? So this is a fundamental difference. Then you can say based on size कि चलो ये yellow है पर इसमें ये सबसे बड़ा है, ये सबसे छोटा है, these are medium size. That is how you differentiate. So the first grouping that you do is the most something that groups them together, the most common or the most basic difference. इसमें most basic difference आपको color का दिखा. So that is how you say, and then you can go ahead and say something about the size. So the next division is based on the previous one, and that division also decides what the next is going to be, right? उसके आगे उसको कैसे divide करेंगे, that is also based on that division, okay? So for example, you have a basic difference that we have talked about earlier, eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Something that has a well-defined nucleus or something that doesn't have a well-defined nucleus. Okay, you know about eukaryotes. Eukaryotes have a nucleus, a membrane-bound cell organelles. Cellular processes are efficient, isolated, and can be multicellular. But prokaryotes don't have a well-defined nucleus. They have no membrane-bound organelles. Their biochemical pathways are completely different from that of from those of the eukaryotes, and they are not as efficient as multicellular organisms, and they are not efficient enough to be multicellular. Right? They are just basically just getting through their life. कि चलो उतना ही जीना है, so we just go through it. That kind of a thing. But this can be a absolutely basic difference. An absolutely basic difference can be based on whether an organism is eukaryotic or prokaryotic, right? उसमें भी बहुत broad classification होगा, because there are a lot of different organisms that are eukaryotic, and these are very different from each other, but that will come later. First we can differentiate them based on whether they are prokaryotic or whether they are eukaryotic, and then you can differentiate them further. Hmm? Then you can also have unicellular or multicellular. This can be either along with this, or it can be another stage. तो आप ऐसे भी कह सकते हो कि ठीक है, we have differentiated between prokaryotic and eukaryotic. But eukaryotic can also be this is generally only unicellular, right? चलो इसमें तो हो गया. Then you can have eukaryotic, you can have unicellular, and you can have multicellular, right? So this is the second level of difference. This is the first level of difference, this is the second level of difference. So that way you can differentiate them. So unicellular, multicellular, you know the difference, that there's division of labor in multicellular, and they are made up of different cells which have specialized functions, right? This is the basic difference. And no division of labor in unicellular, you know that. Then you can also differentiate based on food procurement. So what you can say is कि चलो अभी multicellular organisms हैं, so we will differentiate them based on how they get their food. Either they produce their own food, or they get it from outside, right? So ये this can be the third level of classification. So what have we done? प्रोकैरियोट से यूनिसेलुलर में आ गए. इसमें भी you can have a difference कि वो own करता है या outside से लाता है. You can have that difference. So you can just keep dif- differentiating or dividing all these groups into smaller groups based on certain other differences that are not as basic as the one above them. सबसे बेसिक जो डिफरेंस होगा जैसे प्रोकैरियोट यूकैरियोट दैट विल बी द फर्स्ट लेवल. उसके बाद यू कैन हैव अदर डिविजन्स as which are not as basic as the other ones, right? Then you have level of organization in photosynthetic organisms. This we will see later because we are going to be talking about plant diversity. So for own is obviously plants. You can have how they grow or the level of organization, how big the plant is or how developed it is. There are certain that are not as well developed, but they're all photosynthetic and they're all multicellular and they're all eukaryotic, right? So you can have that as a difference. Or you can have, for example, if you get from outside, then you can have organization of animal bodies and their functions, right? So these can be different levels of classification. You cannot use for example, you cannot say ki presence and absence of a skeleton is a valid characteristic simply because there are it is you have bacteria also that do not have skeleton. You have a plant also that do not have a skeleton. You have animals also that do not have a skeleton. So when you do that, you are basically differentiating it based on something random. Okay, so it can be a subgroup. आप सब ग्रुपिंग कर सकते हो. हम्म आप ऐसा ग्रुपिंग कर सकते हो कि देर आर एनिमल्स जिसमें स्पाइन है, एनिमल्स जिसमें स्पाइन नहीं है या फिर स्केलेटन नहीं है. यू कैन डू दैट. But you can't do that for plants and bacteria, for example, because they are very different and none of them have a skeleton. So that will become a very random division. And classification of or using organization of plant bodies is different from the classification using organization of animal bodies simply because they are very different from each other. Okay, we will see this further ahead. There is a certain relation between classification and evolution. Living things are categorized on the basis of body design and form and function, right? हमने एक बार we came down to own food and ये food, then we split. हाँ कि body structure and body function पे we decide. So some characteristics have a wider role in changing body design through time. For example, if it already exists, it will influence subsequent design changes. For example, there are certain characteristics that have a जैसे एक कैरेक्टरिस्टिक है कि वो उसमें प्लांट सेल है, एक एनिमल सेल है. दिस इज एन एनिमल सेल एंड दिस इज अ प्लांट सेल. ठीक है. दिस इज अ बेसिक बॉडी डिजाइन. हाँ. एंड इफ दिस एग्जिस्ट देन इट विल इन्फ्लुएंस सब्सिक्वेंट डिजाइन चेंजेस. सो एनिमल सेल से जो चेंजेस होंगे, एनिमल सेल विल चेंज थ्रू टाइम, राइट? एवोल्यूशन होगा. देयर विल बी समथिंग दैट चेंजेस. प्लांट में भी होगा. बट सिंस इन दोनों में ये बेसिक डिफरेंस ही है कि इसमें सेल वॉल है, इसमें सेल वॉल नहीं है, इसमें फोटोसिंथेसिस होता है, इसमें फोटोसिंथेसिस नहीं होता है, द वे इट evolves will also be different. An animal cell or an animal will not evolve the same way as a plant. So this characteristic has a wider role in changing body design. This is a basic example. There can be many other examples. So therefore, this characteristics that come into existence earlier are more likely to be basic than characteristics that have come later. Do you understand that? This difference of cell wall and of having chloroplast is a basic difference that came into existence much earlier. उसी के बाद जाके ये plants evolve हुए हैं. अगर यहाँ पे this cannot have come later. अगर सेल वॉल बाद में आता, then it would be a different kind of organism altogether. So the characteristics that came earlier, जो पहले इवॉल्व हुए, are more likely to be basic, and it is more likely कि हम उसी basis पर उनको classify करेंगे. So we generally say that classification is closely related with evolution. द वे वी कैरेक्टराइज, हम सबसे पहले एकदम बेसिक डिफरेंस देखते हैं, एंड दैट बेसिक डिफरेंस इज जनरली द फर्स्ट थिंग टू हैव इवॉल्व. फॉर एग्जाम्पल प्रोकैरियोटिक एंड यूकैरियोटिक सेल, right? That is possibly the first thing to have evolved in a way that you can, that can be different. For example, nucleus, nuclear membrane होना in eukaryotic and nuclear membrane नहीं होना in prokaryotic. This is a, this came into existence absolutely many years ago. This came into existence a lot before any of the more complicated features, यानी ये तो यूकैरियोटिक हुआ. अब इसके आगे जाके ये एनिमल सेल बनेगा और ये प्लांट सेल बनेगा. सो इवन इससे भी बेसिक है ये प्रोकैरियोटिक एंड यूकैरियोटिक. डू यू अंडरस्टैंड दैट? सो ये जो है ना, these have, जैसे prokaryotic and eukaryotic, this is an example, has a more profound uh, has a more profound effect on changing the design of body. And uske aage, so as evolution goes, whatever has evolved latest has the least, सबसे latest जो evolve हुआ है, it has the least effect on classification. ठीक है? This is something I hope you understand. Okay, so classification, evolution का जो idea था, that was given by Charles Darwin in the Origin of Species. I hope you already know the name of Charles Darwin, because he's a very famous person, and he is basically the reason why evolution and all these things have come into focus. He gave the idea of evolution in the Origin of Species, that is the name of his book, in 1859. And because classification is closely related with evolution, what we understand is, a lot of times it is said that those with ancient body designs are primitive or lower, है ना? क्योंकि एकदम बेसिक है तो एकदम पहले इवॉल्व हुआ तो वो लोअर ऑर्गेनिज्म हुआ. बट दे शुड बी ट्रीटेड एज ओल्डर, just because they are more, I mean, that those have ancient body design or those are simpler doesn't mean that they are primitive. They can be simplicity in complexity. Okay, we'll see this further ahead. All right, also those with recent changes in body design are considered advanced or higher organisms, but they should be termed younger as compared to those. तो काफी लोग बोलते हैं कि जो एकदम बैक्टीरिया वगैरह आए हैं, जो एकदम पहले इवॉल्व हुए हैं, those are lower organisms, but they should be called older, and those are more complicated should be called younger, more advanced, but they should be called younger organisms. Okay, we come to hierarchy of classification. So classification ka hierarchy, the first thing how classification was done was by biologist Carolus Linnaeus. You will learn about him further ahead. Then you had Ernst Haeckel, you have Robert Whittaker, and you have Carl Woese. And they classified broadly into kingdoms. So they took all animals and they classified them into all organisms, and then they started classifying them into different kingdoms. Whittaker is the one that we are going to be following. We are going to be following Robert Whittaker, 1969. We are going to be following the 5 kingdom classification of Whittaker. Robert Whittaker ka 5 kingdom classification we are going to be studying. He gave 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. Right? Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, and Animalia. These two you will remember pakka. Plantae and Animalia you will not forget, and you should not. Fungi also you will remember mushrooms. Then these two are more, these two are newish for you, so you have to remember them. But generally, Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Earlier classifications are only divided into plants and animals. So bacteria ko bhi plants bolte the, but that doesn't happen, right? So that is why you also had 3 kingdom classification. But now we are going to be doing 5 kingdom classification of Whittaker. and it is based on cell structure, the mode and source of nutrition, and the body organization. This is basic. This comes after this, and this is then body organization के different levels होते हैं. There are many different levels of body organizations. And this is the five kingdom classification of Whitaker. What did Carl Lewis do? Carl Lewis modified Monera into Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. Archaebacteria or Archaea are really old. Archae means old, ancient. So Archaebacteria and Eubacteria. But we are going to be talking only about Whitaker five kingdom classification. So this is the way it is classified. This is called the hierarchy. So पहला जो basic difference split होता है, that is the kingdom, right? Kingdom. Then comes kingdom के बाद, for example ये split किया kingdom में. Then you have five kingdoms, right? And then you have phylums. For example, plants and animals में you have different phyla, or plants में you have divisions. And then you go further ahead और differences से उनको classify करो और differences से उनको divide करो. So you have kingdom, phylum or division, class, order, family, genus, species. Species is the most basic unit, and all organisms are similar to each other and they can breed and perpetuate their own species, right? Species refers to a group of organisms that have the ability to breed with each other, to interbreed. They are very similar to each other. All human beings are Homo sapiens. So all of them have the ability to interbreed. But as you go further ahead, ऊपर ऊपर जितना जाओगे, they become more and more different. हाँ, as you go up ahead, ऊपर जाओगे तब they are more and more different. That is why they don't have the ability to always breed with each other. So species is the most basic unit of classification. ठीक है, there is a very simple way of learning this. I was taught this in my own school. मुझे स्कूल में हमारे टीचर ने सिखाया था. You have to remember there's something called mnemonic, right? You remember it based on the first alphabet of each name. So K, P, C, O, F, G, S. So you can have keep, pot, clean, otherwise, family, family is family, gets sick. Keep pot clean, otherwise family gets sick. Right? This is called a mnemonic because they share the same first alphabet. And if you remember this sentence, you will remember K, P, C, O, F, G, S. Kingdom, phylum. You can remember phylum and division. Kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Keep pot clean, otherwise family gets sick. You can remember it like this as a mnemonic. Okay. So we come to the first kingdom, that is Monera. Okay. Monera are all unicellular prokaryotics. I told you this is the most basic difference. Prokaryotes and eukaryotes, they are unicellular prokaryotes or Monera. They do not have a well-defined nucleus or cell organelles. Okay, this is this this difference. They do not show multicellular body design. They're all unicellular. Hmm? And the diversity is based on cell wall absence or presence on mode of nutrition. उसको आगे जब split करते हैं, then you can have different characteristics, like whether or not a cell wall is present or absent, or whether or not they are what kind of nutrition they have. For example, autotrophic or heterotrophic. I don't know if you know the meaning of this word, so I'm just going to explain it. Auto means automatic, self. Hetero means other. Hmm? Autotrophic means able to produce own food. Auto, self, able to produce own food. Heterotrophic, have to get food from outside. Plants are autotrophic, animals are heterotrophic, right? That is mode of nutrition, basic difference, autotrophic and heterotrophic. ठीक है, prokaryotes से then you can differentiate them based on whether or not they have cell wall and how they are, whether they are autotrophic or heterotrophic. For example, you have bacteria, you have blue green algae, you have mycoplasma, right? Please remember This is called blue green algae and it is green in color. It has chloroplast, but it doesn't have chloroplast, it has chlorophyll. Sorry, it has chlorophyll, not chloroplast. It is a prokaryote. That is why it is not considered a plant. It is not, even though it is green in color, it is not considered a plant because it doesn't have a well defined nucleus. It is a prokaryote. That is why it is considered a moneron, and it will come under an autotrophic monera. हाँ वो डिवाइड होके it will come under autotrophic. This is blue green algae. Examples are nostoc, annabina. But this is for example annabina का यही photo है. So this is a bacterium. Here you see a bacterium. This is under microscope. This is annabina. You see these spores and heterosis. There is a way of reproduction, and there is a mycoplasma. Okay. So monera, unicellular prokaryotes, do not have well-defined nucleus. You can give the characteristics of prokaryotes, and then you can have diversity based on the absence or presence of cell wall or the mode of nutrition, self or have to get from other. Self is autotrophic, getting from something somewhere else is heterotrophic. Then you have protista. Protista का and monera का सबसे बड़ा difference is that protista is eukaryotic. Unicellular but eukaryotic. Monera was unicellular prokaryotic, protista is unicellular eukaryotic. We have seen examples of this previously. आपको शायद याद होगा नहीं होगा. These can also be autotrophic and they can be heterotrophic, right? They may use appendages for movements. They move, a lot of them have move and they have small cilia. We had talked about cilia when we talked about ciliated squamous epithelium. Squamous epithelium, nahi. It was whatever we talked about epithelium and it was ciliated, right? It helps in facilitation of movement. It is very small, thin, hair-like structure, and flagellum or plural flagella is a long structure, for example, like this. And this is a bacterium. This is one flagella, and it whip-like movement karta hai. They use these appendages for movement. For example, paramecium. I have used the same photographs that I did in one of the previous videos so that you understand. There is a paramecium. We have talked about this paramecium. Then you have amoeba, right? And then you have euglena. We talked about this in one of the previous chapters when we were talking about prokaryotic and eukaryotic organisms, right? Paramecium, amoeba, and this is euglena. ये जो euglena है ये लंबे लंबे. Euglena is also green, but it is somewhere between a plant and an animal, so it is considered a protist because it is a unicellular eukaryotic organisms. Remember, paramecium, amoeba, euglena, ye examples are all eukaryotic. They have a proper nucleus. Here you can see the labeling. Paramecium has two nuclei, micronucleus and macronucleus. You don't need to know that. ये आपको अगर you may have to draw this. If you have to draw this, you can just make it simpler. Just make paramecium like a slipper like this, and then if you want, you don't have to make it so complicated. Just make some cilia on this like this, and then you have make a large structure, make a small structure, and label it micronucleus and macronucleus and micronucleus. Macro is big, micro is small, and then you have these small structures. Just draw something very similar to this, right? Remember that euglena has a whip-like flagellum. Okay, and amoeba can be any shape. You can make whatever you want. Okay. Then we come to fungi. Then what is the difference? These are all heterotrophic. They are all heterotrophic, unicellular and multicellular eukaryotes. The difference is, we will see what the another difference is. Then fungi can use dead and decaying material as food. They are called saprophytic organisms. Saprophytes are those that have dead or decaying material as food. So whatever, for example, you have a forest and then you have a lot of dead and decaying, for example, leaves that have fallen from a tree or dead animals. If an organism feeds on that dead and decaying material as food, that organism is called a saprophyte, right? So that is also a part of heterotrophic nutrition. Some animals, some fungi, sorry, not animals, some fungi need living protoplasm for food. They are called parasitic. पैरासाइट्स एंड सैप्रोफाइट्स में डिफरेंस क्या होता है? सैप्रोफाइट्स फीड ऑन डेड एंड डिकेइंग ऑर्गेनिज्म, पैरासाइट्स नीड लिविंग ऑर्गेनिज्म. They live on an organism that is living or inside an organism that is living, right? Those are parasitic. They need um, material from a living cell to survive, and they don't live on dead and decaying organisms. They may or may not be multicellular. Here, that is not important, but they are heterotrophic and they are eukaryotic. The difference is that they have a chitinous cell wall. We will see this. Many have the capacity to become multicellular at certain stages of life. This is, there are certain fungi that start off as unicellular. They start off as unicellular and then they come together like slime molds. They come together and they form, they have, and right, unicellular organisms can live in colonies. There are many unicellular organisms जो साथ में रहते हैं, जो कॉलोनी में रहते हैं. We will see this ahead. जो कॉलोनी में रहते हैं, but they live independently. They don't depend on any other cell for their खाना पीना या फिर जीना. Right, they don't depend on anybody else for any other cell for any of their needs. But a multicellular organism requires, it has a division of labor, so it requires other cells and each cell performs a specific function. We have seen this, right? So this happens that there are certain fungi, for like slime molds, they come together, these unicellular organisms come together and they form multicellular structures in which there is division of labor. So that is also a very interesting phenomenon, right? Here the main thing is that fungi has cell walls. They are made up of a complex sugar called chitin. They are made up of a complex sugar called chitin. This is chitin, okay, not chitin, it is chitin. So you have examples like yeast, you have molds, you have mushrooms. You have seen, I'm sure you have seen molds growing everywhere. कहीं ब्रेड अगर पड़ जाए, कुछ हो जाए, कुछ ग्रीन कलर का उसमें आ जाता है. You see white and black growth. Those are all fungi. I'm sure you have seen a lot of fungi growing somewhere. You have yeast, for example, Saccharomyces, right? Here what you see, ये ना, this grows by something called budding. You don't need to remember this. यहाँ पे जैसे ये एक होता है ना, then it gives rise to a small bud from it, which also gives rise to a small bud from it. You can see this in this microscopic photos. You have small buds coming out. So that is Saccharomyces or yeast. Then you have Penicillium, which looks like this under the microscope, but looks like this when you see it. This is a petri dish which is about this big, and you grow fungi on it. You can see this colony of fungus, right? These are all spores. ये छोटे छोटे, these are all spores, these green things. This is penicillin under a microscope. Then you have mushrooms. This is agaricus. Agaricus is also the one that you eat. Normal जो mushrooms आप खाते हो, button mushrooms, those are also agaricus. You have a lot of mushrooms. These are more visible. They grow. These are fruiting bodies. इसका you don't have to know all that. ठीक है. But fungi have a cell wall made up of tough complex sugar called chitin, and they are saprophytic or parasitic specifically. They have a cell wall, but they are not plants because they cannot produce their own food. Okay, and their cell wall is also made up of a different material. Plant cell wall is cellulose. Inka cell wall is chitin. Okay, then you have plantae. Plantae is multicellular eukaryotes with a cell wall. Cell wall made up of cellulose. Um, they are generally multicellular. There are very few species that are unicellular. पर यूनिसेल्युलर होके भी उनको मोनेरा या प्रोटिस्टा में क्यों नहीं डाला? बिकॉज दे आर यूकैरियोट्स एंड दे शो absolutely the same features as plants, which means that they also have a cell wall. ठीक है? They are all autotrophs. Autotrophs use chlorophyll for photosynthesis. You know this? They use chlorophyll for photosynthesis. They are green. They are autotrophs. They produce their own food. Auto, self, trophy, eating. Self खुद का खाना बना के खाते हैं. They get energy from the sun and they make food. All plants come under plantae. Okay, and we will learn about the subdivisions in the next video. So there are some exceptions to multicellular, like for example Chlamydomonas here and Chlorella. They are both unicellular, but they have a cellulosic cell wall and they are eukaryotes. That is why they are plants. Huh? And also they have chlorophyll. These three things make them a plant. तो मल्टीसेलर या जनरली मल्टीसेलर ही होता है, बट दे have this there these exceptions have cell walls, they have chlorophyll, and they are eukaryotes. That is why they are plants. This is something called volvox. This is not given in your book. I am just giving you additional information. Volvox is also unicellular, but it grows in these colonies. ये ऐसे they make a sphere around themselves. They grow in colonies, but they're still unicellular, right? And then you have different kind of plants. You see this kind of growth on, this is called moss. Then you have ferns, right? Then you have these are gymnosperms. These are the sequoia sempervirens. Do you see this person here? This person will look like this small here. हाँ, इतने छोटे दिखेंगे ये. तो these are really really tall organisms, right? And these, for example, this is the banyan tree. This is from the Kolkata Botanical Garden, really big banyan tree. So my point is, you have everything from Chlamydomonas, a single unicellular Chlamydomonas, to these big plants. So there is a huge diversity even in plants. So just because they have cell wall and they have chlorophyll for photosynthesis and they are autotrophic and they're eukaryotic, that is why they are all plants, even though they are very diverse. Okay. Then we come to Animalia. Animalia are multicellular eukaryotes but without the cell wall. They do not have a cell wall and they do not have chlorophyll. That is why they cannot have photosynthesis. That is why they are called heterotrophs, right? They're heterotrophs. Hetero means different. Troph means they have to get food from. So trophy means to eat. So they have to get food from somewhere else. And there is lot a lot of diversity. You have sponges, you have jellyfish, you have these sea slugs, you have these worms, you have earthworms, you have insects, you have snails, you have frogs, huh? You have crocodiles, you have birds, you have blue whales, and you have wolves, you have humans. You have all these different creatures that are grouped together simply because they do not have a cell wall and they are heterotrophics and they are eukaryotic multicellular. These 4 points will make an animal. उसके बाद में एनिमल में डिफरेंसेस देखो, जस्ट हैव अ लुक, यू विल अंडरस्टैंड योरसेल्फ हाउ डिफरेंट दे आर, राइट? सो दीज 4 basic points, they are multicellular eukaryotes without cell wall and they're heterotrophs. That is why they're animals. ठीक है? So this is the basic classification. We have prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes unicellular, Monera. Monera is always unicellular prokaryote. You have eukaryotes that are unicellular and multicellular, right? Unicellular is Protista. Protista, Paramecium, amoeba, Euglena. These are Protista. They are always unicellular. Then you have multicellular. Then multicellular में you have with cell wall, without cell wall. With cell wall में photosynthesis, autotrophic, plantae. Heterotrophic do not have photosynthesis, fungi. This has a chitinous chitin का cell wall होता है. You can quote this as a difference. If they ask you the difference between fungus and plant, you can say that this is, of course, this is a heterotroph, saprophytic or parasitic, and plant में these are autotrophs. And you can also say they have a cell wall made up of chitin and cell wall made up of cellulose. There are two major differences between plants and fungi. Hmm? And then you have multicellular without cell wall is Animalia. So this is what I mean by first level of classification. This is second level of classification. This is the third level of classification. Okay. I hope you understand this now. Then you have a concept of biodiversity. Okay. So what does the word biodiversity mean? Bio means biological. Diversity means variety. Biological variety or diversity of life forms. Okay, so a variety of life forms are found in a particular region. आप किसी भी एक region में जाओगे, आप हिमालय में जाओ, you will find a variety of organisms. You'll find, you go to a desert, you will find a variety of organisms, and they'll be very different from each other. What you find in the Himalayas and what you find in the Thar desert are going to be really different from each other. And they share the environment. All of them live in the same kind of environment, and they're affected by each other in certain way. They have a food chain, they have a food web, or whatever way they are always affected by each other, and eventually they all come and form a stable community together, right? A biodiversity forms a stable community together. But humans change that balance. Humans go, पेड़ काट देते हैं, पेड़ काटते हैं तो उसके ऊपर के जो बर्ड्स होते हैं, दे हैव नो वे टू गो. जो प्लांट्स के जो जो ट्रीज काटे उसके जो फ्रूट्स पे जो खाने वाले थे, दे हैव नो फूड लेफ्ट. द शेल्टर इज नॉट देयर. वॉट एवर, फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जो पेड़ का जो फ्रूट खाने वाला था, हर्बीवोर, उसके ऊपर देर इज अ लायन, वो या टाइगर, which is going to eat that organism, that animal. Now that doesn't have anything to do, that doesn't have any food. So humans have changed the balance of the environment of biodiversity. But biodiversity is affected by characteristics of land, water, climate. For example, diversity in a certain area, जैसे desert की जो biodiversity होती है, और ट्रॉपिकल रेन फॉरेस्ट की जो बायोडाइवर्सिटी होती है, उसमें बहुत डिफरेंस होता है. बिकॉज there's a lot of difference between the land, the water and the climate, especially the water. वाटर कैसा है, कितना है, एंड क्लाइमेट कितना कैसा है, उस पर बहुत डिपेंड करता है. द टेम्परेचर एंड वाटर आर वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फैक्टर्स टू डिसाइड द बायोडाइवर्सिटी ऑफ अ रीजन, right? And there's so many species. There are about 1 crore species on the planet, but we know only about 1 to 20 lakh. 10 to 20 lakh. About 1/10 ही पता है हमें, and we have no idea. We have explored so much for so many years, but we have no idea what those species are. We keep discovering new species all the time, you know. So there is, you know about tropical regions. You know about tropical regions between Tropic of Cancer and Tropic of Capricorn. They are very rich in diversity of plants and animals because of the right kind of characteristics of water, climate, and land. They get a lot of rainfall, they get direct sunshine. So there's a lot of vegetative growth, but there is a lot of animals are dependent. So these are regions of mega diversity, right? They're called mega diversity. Mega is, which basically means huge, so huge diversity. And more than half of all biodiversity on earth is found only in a few countries. पूरा अर्थ है उस पे, there are some areas that have a lot of biodiversity as a whole. उसमें भी there are areas which have more diversity and which don't have more diversity. For example, जैसे if you have India, India is a part of this list. Brazil, Colombia, Ecuador, Madagascar, Peru, Mexico, Zaire, Australia, China, India, Indonesia, Malaysia. So इसमें भी इंडिया है. इंडिया में भी there are certain regions. For example, the Western Ghats are extremely biodiversity rich. हाँ, or the Eastern Himalayas, the Western Himalayas, they're very biodiversity rich. Those are called hotspots. एंड ये जो है ना, ये सब में सबसे ज्यादा है. इवन इन इंडिया में देन यू हैव थार डेजर्ट. देयर इज ऑफ कोर्स बायोडाइवर्सिटी, पर इतनी नहीं है एज कंपेयर टू द वेस्टर्न घाट्स. हाँ, सो दैट इज regions. Those are regions of mega diversity where a lot of different kind of animals and plants are found. They are always co-dependent on each other. Even the change of a single species can change the entire thing. You should see this video about what happened when um, wolves are introduced into one of the national parks of the US. I forget the name of that national park, but wolves were reintroduced there. I think Yellowstone National Park में किया था, and it changed the course of the river. So you should see that video. You should see how it affected. So one simple species इधर उधर हो गया तो पूरा biodiversity बदल जाता है, right? So that is why there is a stable community, and humans have changed that balance. So there are some questions that I think, because it is a difficult chapter, I thought we should do. What is the criterion for classification of organisms uh, belonging to kingdom Monera or Protista? So Monera is basically bacteria. So they are basically prokaryotes, and protists are eukaryotes, right? But they are both unicellular. So Monera are unicellular prokaryotes and protists are unicellular eukaryotes. In which kingdom will you place an organism which is single celled, eukaryotic and photosynthetic? इसमें सबसे बड़ा आपको जो हिंट मिला है द फैक्ट दैट इज फोटोसिंथेटिक. देयर इज ओनली वन प्लेस यू कैन प्लेस समथिंग दैट इज यूकैरियोटिक एंड फोटोसिंथेटिक. इट इज बोथ यूकैरियोटिक. आपने देखा मोनेरा में देयर इज ब्लू ग्रीन एल्गी विच इज फोटोसिंथेटिक, बट इट वाज प्रोकैरियोटिक. It is both eukaryotic and photosynthesis. Single celled ho, multi ho, that doesn't matter. This will go into plantae. ये plant है. In the hierarchy of classification, which grouping will have the smallest number of organisms with maximum common characteristics and which will have the largest number of organisms? Please keep in mind, keep pot clean, otherwise family gets sick. So smallest number, maximum common characteristics will be species, which will have the largest number of organisms will be kingdom. Okay, I hope you understand this. So what have we learned in this chapter? Classification helps us in exploring the diversity of life forms. There's a lot of diversity. सबको study करने के लिए we need to classify them into groups so that it is easier to study them. Then you have major characteristics for studying, classifying all organisms into 5 major kingdoms. Whether or not they are prokaryotic or eukaryotic, very important. Unicellular, multicellular, cell wall present or absent. इसमें भी you have differences, photosynthetic, non-photosynthetic. These are major differences that were considered by Whittaker. And all living organisms are divided on the above basis into these 5 kingdoms: Monera, Protista, Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Okay. How you can remember पहले क्या आता है, ठीक है, you have to remember this, you should remember. It doesn't matter if you confuse Plantae and Animalia. Plants and animals are so different that it doesn't matter if you उनको इधर उधर कर दो तो. But the first comes always is Monera and then comes Protista. M comes before P. So Monera comes before Protista, then Fungi, Plantae, Animalia. Classification of life forms is related to their evolution. Okay. What came before are the older organisms have more basic features. What have come the more and those are the more basic features for even for classification, and the characteristics that have evolved latest are not considered very basic. So this is the end of part 1. I hope you have understood. I have taken a lot of time to explain simple things to you because ये chapter easy नहीं होता अगर ये ढंग से explain नहीं होता तो. Very important to understand what classification is, what is going on. Okay, so please watch part 2 for plant classification and parts 3 and 4 for animal classification. These are really long chapters, long things, so I had to, and these are also going to be long videos. So you have to have patience, you have to learn. I know ये chapter बहुत tricky है, but if you read this and understand this properly, you can watch this as many times as possible. If you don't understand anything, just email us. Okay. So thank you for watching this video. Please share if you like this video. Subscribe to this channel. Please leave a comment below to say what can be improved or what you liked. And if you have any query, please just email us on the email ID given below. Okay. Thank you.